Today we're going to be unboxing, reviewing and see what fits inside one of the favorite bags that I've ever bought. If you're new here, my name's Vivian and this is Vivian Vogue, my corner of the internet where I post all content about fashion, beauty, lifestyle, travel, luxury. So if you like that kind of content, please hit subscribe down below. I do also post daily content on Instagram and TikTok, which is also at Vivian Vogue. Link is in the description bar below. I am so excited to show you guys this bag. Yes, it is a bag. It's one of my favorite bags that I honestly have ever bought. It's one of my favorite in my collection in the last few years. So let's just get into it. As you can see, the bag is Prada. I bought this on Collins Street in Melbourne. I do have a video that I'll link in the description bar below about sort of when I went to store to go purchase it and like how I tried it out and an unboxing. So if you want to watch those, click on the link in the description bar below. But in case you're not on Instagram or TikTok, I'm going to do an unboxing here on YouTube today and a bit more of a deeper dive into like what fits inside, why I love this bag and like a general review. I would say I rate this bag 10 out of 10. It's one of my most used bags and I highly recommend it. And so I'm just going to do a deep dive into why I think that. First of all, it comes in this beautiful navy Prada box with the ribbon. And once you open this, it's upside down. Once you open that, you have this beautiful Prada tissue paper. If you open that, there's some like authentication papers, I think my receipt, and then this beautiful white dust bag. This is the dust bag that comes with the bag, and you can see that it's very roomy. The bag kind of like moves around inside. I don't mind that because I prefer that than when the dust bag is like too snug and the bag like barely fits inside. It has the drawstring closure, and I hope this takes your breath away because every single time I see this bag, it literally takes my breath away. This is my beautiful limited edition PRADA Cleo. So when I purchased the bag, they tucked the strap inside, so I've packed it the same way. And there was this little like stuffing paper inside. Is this not one of the most beautiful bags you've ever seen? Like I've already had it for a year and a half and every single time I see it, it makes me so happy. Knowing the basics of this bag, this is called the PRADA Cleo. It is part of Prada's like permanent collection. They release this bag every single year, kind of in the same colors, and then do like limited edition colors. I believe the smallest size is like the mini or like the small, and it comes with like this little flap over it. Then there's, I think it's like the small or the medium, which is essentially this one, but a little bit smaller. And then this one I believe is called the medium, and it's the same as the small, but bigger. As far as I know, the permanent collection bags come in like black, white, there's like a baby pink. They're all like very soft pastel colors, so it's a great spring summer bag. I believe there's like a mint green, like a periwinkle blue, like a lavender purple. They're really beautiful bags. And before I bought this PRADA Cleo, I was looking at buying the PRADA Cleo for maybe 2 years, but I was always just like umming and ahhing, and other things would come in and out of my vision of like things that I wanted to buy instead, so I never bit the bullet until this limited edition version. And what makes it limited edition is that it's got these beautiful 3D applique floral. So this is like embossed into the bag. It's not like stitched on, it's literally 3D printed onto it and like embedded into the leather of the bag. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, which again is Vivian Vogue, link in the description below, you'll see that like my fashion sense is very like feminine, girly. I really love like all things like pretty and soft and like ballerina colors and pinks and creams and whites. So once I saw this limited edition version with like the floral applique, it just was screaming to me, and that's what got me to bite the bullet on this bag finally. As I mentioned, I was looking at getting this bag for like 2 years or so, but I kept debating on like the color and if I wanted it or not until I saw this like floral applique limited edition version, and my heart was like it just stopped. I had to have this bag. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about how I found this bag, how I got this bag, because it is a very exclusive limited edition. If you're not interested in this and just want to skip straight ahead to like what fits in the bag, the wear and tear, how I recommend this bag, then just feel free to skip ahead. I first saw this bag on Instagram. I think I saw this photo, and there were a couple of photos of like influencers who were obviously promoting this upcoming bag from Prada. The second that I saw this photo, I literally screenshot it, texted it to my sales associate saying, what is this bag? Like, is it a limited edition? Is it just like an influencer piece? Because I don't know if you know, sometimes designers make bags literally just for promotion, and they, as far as I know, they don't become available to the public. A really good example of this is the Chanel Kelly that Chanel made exclusively for Margot Robbie on her like Barbie press tour. So whilst the Chanel Kelly, which is this bag, was available to the public in lots of different colors and fabrics and sizes, the specific one that Margot Robbie wore in this like very specific pink was not available. Like, I don't think it released anywhere, you couldn't buy it. It was literally just made for this press run. So I texted my sales associate the photos that I saw, waited for her to come back to me and essentially say like, it is coming to Australia, but in the whole of Australia, there were 2. Like, for the whole country of Australia and like the 21, however many million people we have, there were 2 versions of this bag. From my understanding, one went to Sydney and one went to Melbourne. My sales associate said to me, unfortunately, the one coming to Melbourne had already been pre-sold like months ago. Some customer had already paid for it. They were just waiting for it to get here. And I said to her, like, I feel like I'm dying to have this bag. Is there a chance that I could even just see it in person? Because there's a chance that when I see it in person, try it on, maybe I don't even love it anymore. So she said, okay, like, I can let you know when it gets here. It ended up coming to Australia, and I think obviously the customer who prepaid for it said that they were going to come in the next couple of days to like pick it up and take it home, see if they liked it. I had like a small window of like 2 or 3 days to go in before the customer came to pick it up, went in, tried it on, and just instantly fell in love with it. Like, it just took my breath away. It confirmed everything that I knew that like I loved: the color, the shape, the size, everything. At that point, I told my sales associate, if there's any chance that the customer comes in a couple of days and she's already paid for it, but if she doesn't like it and she either returns the bag or like decides not to get the bag, purchases something else, and this bag in Melbourne becomes available again, please literally let me know, because I will come in and take it straight away. A couple of days went past, and I think she texted me to confirm that the customer from Melbourne did in fact end up taking that bag home. However, the one in Sydney hadn't been sold yet. I like begged her if they could transfer it to Melbourne, and apparently that was like a bit of a hassle because it was just the last one in Australia, and the Sydney store was like, no, we want it here for like our customers. And this is a very common thing across a lot of designer stores. Like, I've experienced this a lot with Chanel, especially for like hot pieces or like really hard to get items where there's only maybe 1 or 2 and there's hundreds or like thousands of customers who want it. And especially if you want to transfer, the store that has it will be very reluctant to give it, because they'll be like, no, like, we want to be able to offer it to one of our VIPs. I believe that like the boutique manager for Melbourne stepped in and kind of said like, no, this girl like really wants it, because I did really want this bag, and it has been a hot minute since I've wanted a bag this badly. And I'm very recognizing of like my position of privilege, and that we are literally talking about $1,000 luxury, emphasis on the luxury handbags that are not essentials. We don't need them, but you know what, if you're here on this channel, you probably here like knowing that this is about luxury. The Sydney store transferred it to Melbourne. I was the first person to see this bag, tried it on in store again just to be double sure that I loved it, purchased it, took it home straight away. Like I said, I do have videos about like the whole purchasing experience, trying on experience, and like a genuine unboxing experience where I opened it for the first time. So the links for all of that are in my Instagram and TikTok down below. The other really interesting thing about this bag that I actually didn't know until I went to go buy it is that every PRADA Cleo, so like the standard PRADA Cleo range that we just talked about, only comes in silver hardware. So that's something to keep in mind if you are a gold hardware girly, which I am. Like, I don't really wear any silver. Then all the bags are in silver hardware except for this limited edition one, which does have gold hardware. So apparently this version, and I believe the last year Christmas limited edition bag that they did, which was in this beautiful like cherry red shade, these are the only 2 versions that they've done in gold hardware. Otherwise, if you go to buy this bag and just buy the regular version, it will be coming with silver hardware. Looking at the inside of the bag, it's actually one of my more spacious bags. Just one big empty pocket that everything sits in, and there's a tiny little leather flap back here that fits like a card holder or a phone, or I usually put my AirPods in there, I believe. In terms of closure, the one thing that I am kind of 50-50 about this bag is that there's no zip. So it is a magnetic button closure. The good thing about it being a magnetic button and not like a snap button is that it is very easy to close. Like, you don't need to like finesse it and try to get it to line up. As long as you have it somewhere aligned in the right area, it will just click close. So I would say that it's semi-secure. However, there is no zip closure. So if I put stuff in my bag and tip it upside down, it's gonna fall out. Or if you're just walking around holding this, someone could like put their hand in your bag, grab something. Or more likely, if you're like sitting down in a restaurant, your bag's just sitting there and it lies flat, because again, the bag doesn't actually sit upright because it has this like geometric cut down the front. If it's leaning sideways, things could like easily spill out of the bag, and then when you grab it, you've lost something that you're not even sure of. Not having a zip closure and only having the snap magnetic button was one of the main reasons I stayed off this bag for so long. Like I said, I was looking at getting this bag for maybe 2 years before I bit the bullet. And it's because I'm more used to like Chanel flat bags where like the whole bag goes like over the front and you have like the turn lock and it's very secure. And if I don't have that, then I like to have bags that have a zip just so that I know all my things are secure. I was really worried about things like kind of falling out of this bag or me like losing things on the go, which is the main number one reason I didn't buy this bag for so long. But now that I've had this bag for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, I can easily say like I've actually never lost anything. Things don't really tend to fall out of it. I'll say that things probably like peek their head out of it. Like if I have a receipt, then it might start to like slide halfway out of it, but I've never actually fully had something like fall out of the bag. And by the time that I see something slipping out of it, I just like push it back in and it's fine. But that is probably something to consider if you're someone who like really cares about the security of their bags. You prefer to have like a turn lock clasp or something going over the bag, like a flap or like a zip. This bag is probably not going to be for you. That also being said, the size of this bag is for me perfect for an everyday bag, but it also means that you're probably not going to be putting a lot of like precious documents. Like it's definitely not like a work bag. It's probably for me not a travel bag. I brought this on holidays with me as just like an everyday bag, but it's not like an airport bag. So anything that you're putting in here is for me not like a passport, not paperwork, not important work documents. So anything that you lose in here is typically, for me at least, not going to be that important. That the capacity of the bag and the closure of the bag kind of like work hand in hand, and like anything that I do lose in this bag isn't going to be that important that I can't get back. Is unfortunately set to one sort of length. There's no straps or buckles to adjust it. I personally think that it's like a perfect over the shoulder bag. As you can see, it's like not tight. It sits very easily. This is what it looks like on. And for me, it's just that perfect under the shoulder bag that just fits so perfectly. However, if you do have like a bit of a smaller frame or a bigger frame, you might find that this doesn't like work for your proportions. So I would recommend going into a PRADA store and trying it on, because it cannot be adjusted, unlike a lot of other bags. When I first got this bag, I was also very scared about getting a white leather bag. I think this is my second white bag. My first bag is this Chanel iridescent. It's not even white, it's kind of metallic-y silver, gold, pearlescent white. This bag, which I will leave the video for in the description bar below if you want to watch it, that bag for me, without a doubt, is my most like precious bag in my collection in terms of how much I have to be careful and baby it, because it does have like that iridescent pearl sheen to it. There is like an effect on the bag that essentially makes it more delicate than like a patent leather or a caviar leather or like a pebbled leather. So I was really scared about getting another second white bag. However, this has held up astonishingly in the last like 1.5 years. Honestly, there's like no scuffs, there's no marks. I've not had any issues with this, and I don't baby this. Like, I probably don't wear it with dark denim, just because if you know, you know, dark denim, light bags is just a no-go. That is just a recipe for catastrophe. For those that don't know, or if you're new to like the world of luxury, welcome. And one of like the biggest golden rules is do not wear light bags with dark denim. Some people say dark clothing in general. However, my personal experience, I've worn like light bags. Like I've worn this bag with like a black t-shirt. And I feel like as long as the material is either like something solid like a silk or a cotton, that's not gonna bleed color like denim, you don't have an issue. However, the issue with a light bag and dark denim is you get things like this, which is where the color from the denim, again, depending on the quality of the denim, the quality of the bag, the materials, the potency of the color, the dye, potentially you can get the dye rubbing off on the bag, which looks like this. Sometimes when this happens, it can be irreversible. I'm really lucky. I've never had this issue. I've had some friends like take their bags to like a bag spa or just take it back to the place that they bought it, whether that's Chanel, Hermes, Prada, YSL, and they can in-house treat it. Sometimes that does cost money, or you can always take it to a third-party bag spa and they can restore the bag and get the dye out. But just to be safe, I would highly recommend not wearing any light colored bags, and that includes like white, cream, baby pink, anything light with like really dark denim, such as like a dark indigo, dark navy, or black. That being said, This bag is white. I was really scared about getting it dirty or having like color transfer on it over time. However, as you can see, the bag is still in pristine condition. This is about 1.5 years or 2 years after I've bought it, and I wear it. It's probably one of my most worn bags, to be honest, because it's a lot more casual than the Chanel Flap, which is my other everyday go bag. And compared to the Chanel Classic Flap, which is my other everyday go bag, it's a lot easier to just undo the button, put your hand, take it out, take whatever you need, as opposed to the Classic Flap, which is beautiful and still probably my favorite bag of all time. It's a lot more effort to like turn the turn lock, open the flap, be careful not to like stretch the flap or rip anything, and then like put your hand past the 2 flaps because there's a double flap, and get your things out and put in the back end. It's a lot more of a process. So this honestly is probably my most worn bag in my collection in the last 2 years. The leather is a patent leather. They don't do caviar or grained or pebbled, and patent leather just essentially means it's got this like really beautiful shine to it. So if you prefer like a matte bag, this won't be for you because it does like really reflect the light. This one more than others because it is white, but even in like the black version, the red version, the pink version, they will have like this beautiful sheen and catch the light. In terms of what fits inside the bag, I've grabbed like my everyday essentials, and I'm going to show you how I pack this bag for a day to day. So obviously first, non-negotiable is a wallet. This is my current everyday wallet. I've had this one for maybe 2 years. My original everyday wallet that I was obsessed with was the Chanel O case. I've done a video comparing some of Chanel's most popular SLGs, which is like the flat card case, the O case, and like their snap flap card holder. The O case was my ride or die SLG. I bought mine literally the first year it ever came out, and I don't want to get it wrong, but I feel like it might have been like 2011, and I bought it for like 400 Australian dollars. These days that retails for over $1,000. I very sadly lost mine on the train one day, and I never ended up getting it back, and I've tried to like purchase it over time, but it's just like never in stock, or I ended up finding something else that I bought instead, and now there's kind of no reason for me to get the O case again now that I'm used to this one. But as I was saying, this is my everyday wallet, so it's my O case replacement. It's very similar to the O case in that it's got this like middle zip closure that I like to put my keys in and like receipts in. So that goes across the top and one side, and then this side it's just open. It's got this little sort of pocket through here that I put a couple of cards, and then down the back it's got a couple more card slots as well. So this has become my everyday wallet. This obviously goes with me in every bag. This fits very easy, as you can see, just goes straight in, no issues. Fits perfectly. Next non-negotiable for me every time I leave the house is my car keys. These are like bulkier car keys. They still obviously fit perfectly. I'm just gonna slot them down the side here. As you can see, they kind of just like sink. You can't really see because the inside lining is black, but they fit very easily. I'm not getting any like misshape on the front or the back. You can't even really tell that there's stuff inside it, and it's still very light. Next two things I usually never leave home without is a lip balm or like some kind of lip product. That can go just down the side there, and my AirPods. I feel like you can still see there's a lot of space in there. For demonstrations purposes, usually I only bring these in summer, and I actually don't even really put them in my bag. Usually I put them on my head, but these are some sunglasses. These are like the soft sunglass case. The whole thing fits in the bag. So if I slot that behind my wallet, there's still enough space for the bag to close properly. And now you can start to see it's a little bit more full. We're starting to get a little bit of bend kind of in the sides here. But there's no like bits like really sticking out across the bag, so I'd say it's a pretty good fit. Sometimes I like to have like a claw clip on me if I want to put my hair up, so I usually just clip this on the side of the strap like that. I think it's a really cute little accessory. These pearls also I feel like complement the like floral applique embroidery and just make it's almost like a little bag charm, and it's like very feminine and cute. So typically this is how I'll pack my bag when I'm leaving just for like a normal everyday. Just getting a little closer so you can see what the bag looks like on and the proportions to my body. For reference, I am 165 centimeters or about 5'4" in American measurements, and the bag hits like right on like the bottom of my waist or like the top of my hips. Even with everything that I've put in the bag, it actually still really does have space for more. So just for demonstrations purposes, this is my Kindle. I think it's one of like the smaller sizes for a Kindle, but this also fits very easily. Literally, if I just put it down the back, now you can see there's my Kindle, my wallet, my sunglasses, like 3 kind of back to back. And then on the sides is where like my lipstick and my headphones and stuff are. And at this point, everything still fits in the bag and we can still close that snap button. It just does that, and everything still fits. One great thing I love about this bag is if you want to push it to capacity. So say for example, I've like stuffed a whole bunch of stuff in it. The bag will still like hold everything. It just might not shut. But that's not to say that you can't put things in it. So like I personally, just because of the shape of the bag and the way that I'm wearing it under my arm, don't mind if the bag just kind of sits like this. You can see that it's not closed. But if you were like really needing to like stuff like tissues inside, more lip products and mascara, some like foundation, whatever it may be, you could actually still put it in the bag. It just won't close, but there's nothing to say, like it doesn't look weird, as opposed to bags like the Chanel Classic Flap, where physically if you cannot close the bag, you can't really wear it because it just like hangs up above. I think I've seen some people do that, but for me, I just find that when the flap like bangs against my arm, it makes this like clacking noise because the turn lock is like clacking against the metal of the slot that it's meant to go into, and I hate that. As opposed to this bag, if it doesn't close, not an issue. If I had to give this bag one con, it would be the fact that it probably doesn't stand up on its own. So as you can see, it is this beautiful classic half moon shape, and I feel like that's a very classic shape that's never gonna date in a bag. However, on the bottom, it's not flat. So it goes all the way across the sides here to like a slant down the front. So when you put it down, this bag will not sit up. Personally, that doesn't really bother me because I actually prefer this geometric shape. Like if I thought about if the bag went straight down and then had just like a solid block bottom, I feel like it wouldn't look as nice. I feel like it would look a little bit like rectangular, blocky, really bulky, a little bit clunky, whereas this looks like really chic, really modern, very like contemporary, but still in like a beautiful classic half moon shape. That's my review of my PRADA Cleo. As I said, this is one of my favorite bags in my collection. Design-wise, I just am obsessed with these 4 appliques. I unfortunately don't think you can get this bag anymore, but if you're looking for it, good luck. I'm happy to answer any other questions if you have on this bag. Drop them in the comments below or send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok and I'd be more than happy to help you. Thanks so much for watching.